Wow. Terence Crawford finally admits that Top Rank and ESPN show more love promoting guys like Lomachenko. He feels that he was almost set up to fail. And I'm going to let you listen to some of his own words. We're going to talk about it. Smash the like button. You definitely don't want to miss this episode. Stay tuned. What up, Fight World? It's your boy Ego, and I'm back with some more boxing. Make sure you smash the like button. Also, subscribe to my channel for the latest and greatest in boxing if you want to become part of the gang. Notification gang, please hit the bell icon. Shout out to the super chats, channel donations, the Venmo donations, the Cash App. That's $ Boxing Ego, and the Patreon family. We working. Before I get started, smash the like button, subscribe if you're new, and check out ESPN Plus. ESPN Plus, they have a ton of original content, docuseries, documentaries, archive footage. You know, you can get past fights like Lomachenko and Teofimo and much more. Get ESPN Plus as a standalone app. That's $5.99, or get the bundle, ESPN Plus, Hulu, and Disney Plus, all three of those apps for one low price of $12.99 by clicking my link, and it does help the channel continue to grow in a phenomenal way. Now, I don't want to beat around the bush, waste y'all time, and I want Terence Crawford to say this in his own words. This is an interview with Ak and Barack, link in the description so you can listen to it in its entirety. This is some pull quotes from it, and Terence Crawford, you know, he's been kind of in this frayed relationship with Top Rank. At least that's what it looks like from the outside looking in. And just so we don't misconstrue Crawford's words, you can hear it from the horse's mouth, because in this interview, Crawford even said that, you know, people suggested he was leaving Top Rank and going to PBC, and he said, I never said that. So I want you guys to hear out the horse's mouth what Crawford had to say, and then I'll give you my thoughts, just so there can be no discrepancy. Because I know Terence Crawford, in the past, some people have said he doesn't really enjoy speaking with media and things like that because people misconstrue his words. So I want you guys to hear again, so we have it all in the clear. Let's get it. Smash the like button.
Oh, you know how I am. You know what I mean? It pissed me off because I'm one of the most loyalist persons that I feel, you know what I mean, to the core.
So he's responding to the host talking about his relationship with Bob Arum. So he's referring to when he heard the comments. Bob Arum, just in a nutshell, did an interview with The Athletic, not one but two, and he just did an interview with Boxing Scene. But the Boxing Scene interview came after this. So at the time of recording this video, Crawford hadn't heard probably the newer comments, but Bob Arum had still placed comments with The Athletic, Lance Pugmire, and he had basically said Crawford's a loss leader. He's losing a ton of money with Crawford. He could have bought a house in Beverly Hills and stuff like that. So this is what Crawford is responding to. Let's go.
For him to go out and say some foolish like that, it kind of, you know,
he said foolish-ish like that, and it's censored, so that's why it blurred out. Let's go.
A whole totally different way. You know what I mean? And that's just what it is. Like.
So before he even said that, you wasn't like, okay, I'm ready to jump ship no matter what. You wasn't feeling like that.
Never. Listen, I never not once said I was jumping ship. I was leaving Top Rank. I was anything. You know what I mean? So all these interviews, not interviews, but these little headlines coming up, Terence Crawford leaving Top Rank for PBC and this and that. I don't know where all that came.
He said, I don't know where all that effing came from. He said, it wasn't from me. I never said that I was moving ship or not comfortable with Top Rank or whatever. And he's setting the record straight for that. That's why, in the media, you got to be careful about what you put for titles. Some people probably clickbait you know, and said titles, said Crawford this and that, but he's setting the record straight. He says, I didn't say that personally, so don't hold me to something other people said.
I never not once told any reporter that I was leaving Top Rank for PBC or anything. Every time they asked me any question, I said I'm with Top Rank right now. Yeah, who knows what the future may hold? Come on, man.
You know, I would have to agree with that, but
I always listen to him. You know, I feel
we
like
know that.
If he had anything to say about me or how I'm doing anything, then he should have came to me instead. I just feel like that.
So he's basically saying before it got and became a public issue, Bob Arum should have came to him and said like, yo, like, you know, we have this disagreement or this ain't working for us or whatever the situation. But ironically enough, Bob Arum in his more recent interview with the boxing scene with Dan Rafael, which was done after this interview, Bob Arum basically said the same thing. He said there's things that Team Crawford leaked to the press that nobody knew about publicly, and he said it was reprehensible. So they're both kind of saying the same thing. Bob Arum is saying Team Crawford, you know, they did reprehensible behavior by putting certain terms and like lawyers sending out a notice to Top Rank, and then the $1 million if the Errol Spence offer was not made, things that were handled and facilitated behind closed doors. He says Team Crawford made it a public issue, and it's ironic enough that Crawford in his interview is saying kind of the same thing. He's saying if Bob Arum had a problem with me, you know, it could have been that, but you should have addressed it with me directly. I'm a loyal person. You know, you didn't have to go about it with the athletic interview.
So you should have said, all right, Terrence, let's come up with a plan or something. You know what I mean? But you blatantly saying all this nonsense. Like, come on, man. Ain't nobody in your stable doing numbers like I'm doing. Nobody. Not even your prima donnas that you put so much promotion and everything into. Them motherfuckers not doing nothing compared to me.
So he said the prima donna fighters that are in your stable, they not ucking with me. And you putting all this energy into their careers and promotion and stuff, and they not messing with what I'm doing.
Who's that? Lomachenko? Yeah, he's talking about Lomachenko.
I'm talking about whoever.
He said he's talking about whoever.
I'm not just singling him out because he's not the only fighter in the stable. You know what I mean? I'm talking about whoever. You know what I mean? Whoever.
So what do you say when he says
my job?
Listen.
What? That's not my job. I'm not a promoter. What about?
They are asking him about Bob Arum saying that he needs to promote more like Teofimo Lopez, Shakur Stevenson, Manny Pacquiao, and Floyd Mayweather. He said, that's not my job. I'm not a promoter. Exactly what I said, but ego Stradamus strikes again.
I get paid to fight. I don't get paid to promote. He get paid to promote. You know what I mean? That's why he's my promoter. He supposed to promote me.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So
same thing I said.
When you looking at somebody saying, "Oh, well, he's hard to promote," why? Because you don't promote me like you promote everybody else. You know what I mean? I wasn't really going to talk about this, so I was like, "All right, I'll take $2 million to fight Viktor Postol," even though I felt like that was a big fight. I should have got more than that.
So he just said in the Postal fight he got $2 million or whatnot, and he felt for unification, the amount of danger and threat level of Postal, who had just beaten Lucas Matisse by stoppage, you know, the machine Lucas Matisse. He said, I should have got more money. Crawford goes on to say, but he just ate that and swallowed it, took a pay cut. He felt the fight should have been promoted better and bigger, but he said, I want to get to undisputed. So he just, absorbed any type of financial loss on his end, took the pay cut, made it do what it do, didn't put up a fight. And now it looks like Terence Crawford is kind of getting hip to the boxing business. We'll continue.
I mean, but I'm a fuck anyway, so, and then I'm gonna get more on the next fight. Right. You know what I mean? Like, I always took pay cuts because I know, I had to do that to get to where I wanted to go, and I was undisputed. I always felt like I got set up for the simple fact that when you go back to the...
You heard that? He said, I always felt like I got set up. So I'm assuming, this is just my interpretation, I'm assuming he means like set up for failure. Listen.
I always felt like I got set up for the simple fact that when you go back to the fight with me and POSTOL, they never really promoted that fight and put no money in the promotions of that fight, being that they didn't want it on pay-per-view, for one. For two, they told me didn't nobody know who VIKTOR POSTOL was. In the United States, he was just a Ukraine fighter that people wasn't gonna buy into. I said, why? You as a promoter, you gotta make this man exciting for people to want to buy the pay-per-view.
So that right there is very alarming. Crawford is saying that his promotion was saying, hey, there's only so much we could do with this fight, basically. Nobody knows VIKTOR POSTOL. We're not going to dump a lot of money into promoting the fight. But once again, Igor Stradamus strikes again. I've been saying this for a minute. Tyson Fury don't get that treatment. Who the hell is Otto Wallin? Who is or not Otto Otto Wallin. See, I almost forgot dude's name. And Tom Schwartz. They didn't treat Tyson Fury like this. When Tyson Fury fought Otto Wallin, they made it like he was the next coming of Canelo. It was on the Mexican Independence Day weekend, and they were like, oh, this is a big deal. El Gaetan Rey, and he's the king, and he came out with this like music and sombreros and shit, and they tried to make it look lit, like he was Mexican or something with a sombrero. But then when it came to a black fighter, Terence Crawford, the black channels, he's on record just telling you that they were basically saying, you'll hear, basically saying that the VIKTOR POSTOL fight, there was only so much they could do. Nobody knows them. But you guys are the ones that made the fight and the unification. It's not looking good.
So they was like, well, we got a budget. They always hit me with this budget. We got a budget. So we not.
He said when it comes to VIKTOR POSTOL, which was a unification on HBO, which was a major, the major network in boxing, he said they always hit me with, we got a budget. We got a budget. But again, Lomachenko fought Anthony Corolla at the Staples Center. And they try to make it sound like whatever. Luke Campbell, they try to make these fights sound big. Slow it down, I just dish you. They got a budget. Bud Crawford, budget. You see what I did there? So when it comes to an African-American fighter, Terence Crawford, Bud, when it comes to Bud, they got a budget. Bars.
With this budget, we got a budget, so we're not gonna put in such money when we know it's gonna be a failure.
We're not gonna put in such money. We got a budget when we know it's gonna be a failure. So once again, like I've said in the past, I don't believe Top Rank respects the black dollar. I've said that. Igor Stradamus. When it came to this star fighter, he's telling you Top Rank said, we got a budget and, we're not expecting to lose money, boom, boom, boom. It was just an automatic failure, basically. This is why Crawford said he was set up. But when Tyson Fury, he got $108 million, and Crawford's saying he took a pay cut and he felt he should have got more than $2 million. But Fury is on the Forbes list. And there's people who believe that he cheated in the Deontay Wilder fight. But needless to say, he fought some weak opposition before Wilder for his ESPN deal when he first got it. Guys that no one knew, but you didn't hear this energy and you don't see Fury complaining.
So, that was the first, if you go back and you look at the pay-per-view with American, everybody want to talk about how bad the American fight is. When you go back, it was promoted 1 week. 1 week.
Now Crawford is revealing that they only premiered and promoted the Amir Khan fight for 1 week, much like the Kell Brook fight. Very little promotion, last minute. These are all things I've said on the channel, keep in mind. So damn, I must be the greatest.
Lomachenko, that's when they started. Lomachenko fought 1 week prior to me. They didn't know how much the pay-per-view wasn't even on sale. For one, they didn't know how much the pay-per-view was going to be. They was trying to figure out the networks and how was they going to do it with the ESPN.
So Bud is saying it was just chaotic. They didn't know if it was going to be on ESPN, ESPN Plus, boom, boom, boom. If you guys remember, the same thing happened with Jeff Horn fight. Terence Crawford, as good as he is, he was supposed to fight Jeff Horn, and they first said it was in New York. Then they said it was in Vegas. Then they said it was going to be in Vegas or New York. And there was this long, I'm a reporter, so I be working my ass off. I remember reporting on this. Then they said Crawford was injured, and I'm like, what the hell? You know, he's not really been an injury-prone guy. You know, and then they said it was injured, and then they finally said it was happening in Vegas, and I went and covered that fight. So the Postal fight, they had a budget, you know. Crawford versus Khan, he's telling you out his own mouth they had ill promotion, like I told you on the channel, 1 week. I talked to Blue back, we were at a fight around that time, I think, and he was saying that he lives in New York and there was no Crawford Khan awareness or posters or anything. And he said normally for big fights, like when PBC has a big fight, like Danny Garcia, Sean Porter, you see posters on the subway and on the streets. And I can attest to that because when Wilder, I covered lots of fights in New York. One of them was like Wilder Stavern. And I went in front of I think it was the H&M and the Target and all this stuff. They had poster Wilder Stavern. And I usually put them on my Instagram stories because I was in town for the fight week. So I love seeing that promotion. But now you have a talented fighter like Crawford saying his promotion wasn't promoting. And his promoter in recent interviews is telling him to promote better himself.
Was the first pay-per-view that ESPN did. So they used me as a stepping stone to start
a guinea pig.
You know what I mean? Yeah, the stepping stone to start see how they was gonna do it for previous events. So I didn't even get the rightfulness promotion because they didn't promote the fight until a week prior to us fighting. So didn't nobody have no pay-per-views. I didn't have no posters. I didn't have no ESPN telling everybody that I'm fighting, no nothing. I didn't have no awareness. Didn't nobody have the awareness that I was fighting on pay-per-view, for one. When you look at any other pay-per-view promotions that they did, it was months in advance.
Now, I don't even know of any other outside. They put Crawford, remember I said this. I said they almost set, before Crawford released this interview, I said they kind of set Crawford up to fail. They put Lomachenko, Teofimo on regular ESPN and ESPN Plus. I know because I sell ESPN Plus. Use my affiliate link below. And I did great on that fight. You know, I ain't going to show you my numbers, but we did great. I have an ESPN affiliate through Disney. So I know that fight was promoted because I seen a major influx. So shout out to everybody who clicked on my link. Continue to do so. But when Crawford is fighting the likes of Kell Brook, as I've mentioned, 2 weeks before the fight, they announce it. The fight flyer doesn't look as dope as Teofimo and Loma's fight flyer. The promotion is not there. They're not. The commentators don't sound as elated that Crawford is fighting, and he's saying it out his own mouth now. He said, "There's no awareness for my fights. There's no posters. You know, there's no prompt, you know, rejoicing and hyping people up for my fights."
You know what I mean? People had time to be like, man, y'all heard about this fight, y'all heard about that fight. Nobody heard about that fight. And when they did hear about it, they bought the fight. You know what I mean? And then when they did hear about it before that, they couldn't buy the fight because they didn't have it on sale. They didn't have nothing where they can buy it. They didn't have no cost, no nothing. You know what I mean?
So basically he's saying they didn't have their stuff together. They didn't have their ducks in a row. The cost, they didn't have, you know, the price point set, and it wasn't available. But months in advance, Lomachenko's fight was all sold up and ready to go and promoted, and it was accessible. Like I said, Kell Brook, Terence Crawford, that just happened. Right before that, or maybe a month before, Lomachenko, a Ukrainian fighter, right, versus Teofimo, they made it available everywhere. ESPN Plus, ESPN Deportes. Kell Brook and Terence Crawford, not only was it not on ESPN Plus, I know because I have the affiliate, but the telecast was horrible. The sound was cutting out. This is all on tape. That's what people don't understand with this whole new media, digital mob, you know what I'm saying? Everything's on tape. I did a Boxingego watch party, BWP. So I'm live watching Crawford, Kell Brook, and I'm like, yo, it won't let me log in. What gives? Why can't I log? I've never had this problem. So I slang ESPN Pluses, but now all of a sudden I can't log in. So he was set up, like I told you, Ego Stradamus. The sound was cutting out. Before his main event came on, there was a 2-rounder with Franco and Maloney, and trying to get the decision, even though they got the wrong decision, it took 30 minutes. People check out. People are like, man, what is this? I'm not waiting 30 minutes to hear the outcome of a 2-round fight. You got me fucked up, you know, and then they leave. So that also potentially hurts Crawford's numbers. Now he's revealing everything.
I normally know, you know, how a fight is being promoted. You know what I mean? Lomachenko was fighting on ESPN. I was fighting on pay-per-view. He got way more, you know what I mean, promotions than I did, and I was the one fighting on pay-per-view.
Listen.
You know what I mean? Lomachenko was fighting on ESPN. I was fighting on pay-per-view. He got way more, you know what I mean, promotions than I did, and I was the one fighting on pay-per-view. I went to Bob and I kept asking. I still got text messages in my phone with me getting that Brad Jacobs. Like, damn, man, when y'all gonna start promoting the fight? When y'all gonna start, you know what I mean? And he said, it's a hold up, you know what I mean? They had Lomachenko on the PlayStation. They had him on Hulu. They had him on on something else on TV with the apps. So I'm like, damn.
Right.
I go to my Hulu and they got Lomachenko, you know what I mean, in his fight. You know what I mean? But they ain't saying nothing about me, and I'm fighting a week later.
On paper.
You know what I mean? Like,
So he's saying him and Lomachenko fought a week apart, but the treatment was different. Who else has said that? Who else has said that? Remember the Cameron Duncan who did that recent interview, and he said that Top Rank Matchmaker has an NBF, no black fighter list for top prospects where they're like, nah, we don't want to match them with someone like that. Look at the treatment. So when I talk about this, you say I'm playing the race card, I'm playing victim, and I'm reaching and paranoid and all that, but you have the fighter who's telling you the treatment that he's received. I don't know how this ends. I'm not a psychic. I'm not Miss Cleo. I'm not a soothsayer, but this looks extremely bad. He's telling you what I've been telling you. Ego Stradamus strikes again. I said the way Top Rank ESPN has promoted black fighters, there's been a marked difference. I've told you this for years, and young black fighters continue to sign. That's on you. Crawford, he's like, oh man, Lomachenko was fighting on regular ESPN. They put my fight on pay-per-view, right? And didn't promote it. And Lomachenko, he was on Hulu, and they was putting him all over and plastering him. And he's not having to fight for his money. You know what I'm saying? Teofimo might have to. The fight almost fell apart because Teofimo couldn't get the amount of money he initially wanted. Terence Crawford said he had to take a pay cut in the Postal fight. Bad look. We'll continue.
Like I said before, Top Rank is the company that I'm with right now. And in the future, who knows what the future may hold. You know what I mean? Like we may have a disagreement right now. We going through trials and tribulations that we gonna get it figured out. You know what I mean? But at the same time, I cannot bash Bob Arum and Tyrant. I cannot do that.
So that's where me and Crawford disagree. He said he can't bash Bob Arum and Top Rank. After telling you that whole story and everything we listened to and really unpacked in this video, he says I can't bash Top Rank and Bob Arum. To each his own.
You know what I mean? Because without them, you know what I mean, they gave me the opportunity to accomplish everything I've accomplished in my career. So I can't sit there and bash Bob Arum and Top Rank when I know deep down in my heart that Bob Arum, he really is a good dude, and he really did try to do everything in his will to get these fights that I was asking for. You know what I mean? I don't know what made him come out and, you know, say all the negative stuff he said about me. Maybe it's because of all these people kept saying that I was leaving him and he wanted to make it seem like I was the bad guy. I don't know. Like, that's one thing. I haven't had a conversation with him about it.
Right.
You know, but you know, that's something that I can't even put in.
So he just said he ain't even talked to Bob Arum. So Bob Arum and him haven't really had that conversation to see what it is and what it's going to be. Wow. This is just a crazy look for Terence Crawford to me. He has some real life choices on what he wants to do. You know, to each his own. Terence Crawford, he's his own person. He can feel how he want to feel. But I would feel very slighted by what he just said. And then to follow it up by, hey, Top Rank, I can't bash them. I can't bash Bob Arum. They gave me opportunities, gave me chances. After saying what you just said, I don't really understand that part. I don't really have much else to say because this is what I've been telling you guys for years on my channel. You know, the treatment for guys like Tyson Fury and how he's moved and promoted. Like, you don't hear Bob Arum throwing Tyson Fury under the bus. Tyson, if Crawford's losing money, then what are we talking about? What are we talking about? Tyson Fury has to be losing money because only one of his fights was big, and it was really because of Deontay Wilder. As an American, me speaking, an American ego, I'd rather watch Terence Crawford. He's more of a likable person. He's a skilled fighter. He's more action-packed and exciting to watch. He'll really get you out of there. Tyson Fury, I think he cheated. You know, Tyson Fury, even if he wasn't cheating, he still is not as entertaining a fighter to me and doesn't have the splendid, crazy, explosive, athletic performances that we see from Crawford. But Fury's the one, you know, Caucasian guy from the UK, Gypsy, and he's the one that gets $108 million through Top Rank and better promotion. Same thing with Lomachenko. You know, why is Crawford should be really offended. And I know Crawford has kind of went again, like at fans and media and things like that. But the person you really need to go at are the people manage your career, because I think it's distasteful for Bob Arum to go at you so hard about like lack of promotion and you just ain't getting it done. Compare you to guys in their early careers like Teofimo and your little brother Shakur Stevenson, saying you need to get on board and be more like them. What have they done to really promote fight? You know, Tio, I'll say he's a real good promoter. He's solid. You know, he'll talk some talk, but they're young in their career. They haven't done what you've accomplished, and yet and still, even if that is your mantra, how come Lomachenko don't have to do it? How come Lomachenko don't have these? I literally cannot tell you one weigh-in or press conference that was thrilling and scintillating from Lomachenko. Terence Crawford, I can. Jose Benavidez weigh-in where he got pushed and he swung on Benavidez, that was lit. I was there. I would say the Hank Lundy where he pushed Hank Lundy hella hard. You know, there's been some dramatic moments, dramatic weigh-ins and press conferences and stuff like that. So Lomachenko, I can't think of any excitement where he pushed Rigondeaux or, you know, any kind of drama like that. So Lomachenko, he got the complexion for the protection. He's able to do all of his talking in the ring. This is the biggest fight that, and it's funny that I said it and then I heard Errol Spence say it days later at his media day. Errol Spence Crawford ain't the biggest fight. The biggest fight is he got the fight right now against his network and promoter and what he decides to do. I don't really have much else to say because I told you all this stuff, but Terence Crawford finally admits that Lomachenko has been promoted better on his network, something I've told you guys for quite some time. $ Boxingego, that's the Cash App. Send me my money because this is getting too easy. As always, hate, comment, and subscribe. Till next video, is Ego signing off. So if you enjoyed this video and want more content like this on the channel, you can show your appreciation by going to the PayPal donate button or the YouTube support button, and you can donate any amount that you feel is equivalent to the value of this video. Much more to come. Thank you guys for your support. Boxingego, the future of boxing.